The Republican National Convention kicking off today in Charlotte, and President Trump has already made a surprise appearance. And the Arizona Department of Health's updated numbers on COVID-19 bringing another day of better news. Plus, a new program in the Valley offering help for working parents who need help with virtual learning. 12 starts right now. 12 minutes, no commercials, and now we are live statewide. So a big shout out to all of our viewers in Tucson. We are on TV and on the go on the 12 News app, Facebook, and YouTube. Hey guys, it's Tram here. Over the weekend, a lot of us saw some rain, a blowing dust, and wind, which made a lot of people excited. And we're looking, though, at another week of extreme heat. But Jamie, could there be some maybe rain in the forecast?
There is the possibility of some rain in the forecast, especially when we talk about the valley, which has just been bone dry as of lately. But talking about the heat as well, we have excessive heat warnings in place for all the lower deserts today and tomorrow. For the valley, it continues right through Friday. Turning our attention to the rain now, starting to see everything fire up along the rim and to the northwest. Also a little bit of activity down towards Cochise and Pima counties. And it looks like it'll be pretty favorable for today. 2 in the valley, 4 to the southeast, 4 in the White Mountains, and 3 looking to the north, 2 in western Arizona with the 12 News exclusive monsoon meter. So it is looking better than normal, or at least what's been the normal. So here we go. Into the afternoon, everything starts to fire up across the northern half of the state, and looks like some pretty good activity around Pima and Santa Cruz County. Fingers crossed there, but that storm interaction as we get a little bit closer to the dinner hour is looking like it may be able to set off some thunderstorms for the valley. Tucson 110 today. You may break the record of 108. Flagstaff at 86. Phoenix 112 for this afternoon. Yes, a lot of heat and the possibility of rain and dust if fingers crossed work and the rain dances work today and tomorrow. Looks like just blowing dust on Wednesday and then just hot and dry as we approach the weekend, Tram.
Hey, but at least the temps are kind of going down.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit, but we'll take it. Jamie, thank you so much. Happening now, firefighters in California are working around the clock battling wildfires, while weather conditions today could spark even new ones. As of this morning, more than 1 million acres have been scorched. That's larger than the state of Rhode Island. More than 1,200 structures have been lost, and at least 4 people have been killed this wildfire season. Turning now to the latest on COVID-19 here in Arizona. The State Department of Health Services just released today's updated numbers. And big news, there are 0 new deaths being reported today. In terms of new cases of COVID-19, there are 311, bringing the total number of cases since the pandemic started to more than 198,000. Well, more students are returning to the classroom. Last week, if you'll remember, it was ASU's big debut back on campus, and now it's the University of Arizona. Arizona has been testing and creating apps to make sure their students are safe. Team 12's Mark Liverman joins us now with more on what parents and students can expect heading into the new school year. Mark?
Well, parents can expect to see far fewer students on campus as classes start back up today. That being said, more than half of all classes will include some type of in-person component. University officials say stage 1 classes will be limited to labs, performance, or medical subjects where students have to be physically present. Later, though, when conditions allow, the university will progress to stage 2. That will include in-person classes for up to 30 students. Once those classes are back with no complications, officials say the university will start to phase in larger classes. University of Arizona's president says all students who live on campus will get an antigen test before moving into their dorms. And if anyone tests positive for COVID, they'll be required to isolate for a 10-day period at a designated isolation facility.
We have all of the ambassador teams from the College of Public Health, plus nursing, medical school, and others who essentially are acting as peer support throughout the campus to help reinforce the public health practices. So to make sure that not only on campus, but when they see their peers off campus, to remind them, keep the distance, wear the mask, keep your hands clean. For the privilege of keeping your university open, you have to help us do that with all of your activities.
Face coverings will also be required at all University of Arizona buildings and outside on campus. The only exception to that rule will be in areas where continuous physical distancing of at least 6 feet is possible. And university officials say they'll continue to monitor the health conditions of all students and staff and possibly adjust that reopening schedule accordingly. In downtown Phoenix, Mark Liverman, 12 News.
Mark, thank you. Now, for those who have to be on campus, the university is taking some extra precautions. That includes offering 3 different types of coronavirus tests. Here's Dr. Frank LoVecchio to explain the differences between them with the one thing you need to know about the COVID-19 pandemic today.
One is the PCR, another is the antigen, and another is the antibody. And the easiest one to talk about, I think, is the antibody. The antibody means that you were exposed in the past, and hopefully you have some degree of immunity. We don't know how long, again, hopefully at least 3 months or so. The other two, the PCR looks at pieces of the SARS virus, the virus that causes COVID-19 in the nose and throat and respiratory tree, etc. The antigen test looks at small pieces of protein that could be part of this. If you get an antigen test that's positive, a lot of people, the next step would be to go to the PCR.
Now, after weeks of being closed under Governor Ducey's executive order, Mountainside Fitness says today they are taking steps towards reopening. This comes after the fitness company joined dozens of others in applying to reopen with the Arizona Department of Health. Team 12's Jen Wall joins us from Mesa. And Jen, has Mountainside Fitness been given the green light to reopen yet?
Yeah, we don't know when Mountainside Fitness will reopen yet, but according to a tweet from yesterday, the fitness center says they're going to use today as a return and training for employees. Now, this is all in those steps toward reopening. On Friday, the gym sent a different tweet saying they had not received a response from the Arizona Department of Health Services regarding their application for reopening yet. In that same day, DHS says they've received applications to reopen for more than 1,000 businesses like gyms and bars. So far, the department has denied 200 and approved 95. Hundreds, like Mountainside, are still waiting. Mountainside has been front and center in the fight to reopen, even taking Governor Ducey to court. And in general, the governor says the state will be watching to make sure businesses are following the rules. For those that have been denied, Dr. Kara Christ says they're looking for more than just a plan to space out and mask up.
We want them to establish above and beyond that more reduced capacity. Are they going to do a reservation-only system?
We've been pretty good at holding folks accountable.
And Governor Ducey says enforcement for all of this could come from health services, the liquor board, or even at the local level. And on Twitter, Mountainside says they do plan to release an exact reopening date and time tomorrow. Stay with 12 News for updates. For now, we're in Mesa. Jen Wall, 12 News.
Jen, thank you. With new information coming out almost by the minute, we know it's tough to keep up. So you can find the latest details about the coronavirus and how it's affecting Arizona on our 12 News app. Now to the class of 2021, where it seems working parents are constantly juggling. Team 12's Trisha Hendricks shows us how the YMCA is helping parents balance work and virtual learning.
As schools have gone back into session, we've got healthcare workers, we've got grocery store clerks, we've got U.S. postal workers that need a safe space for their kids to go.
Working families who can't be home while their child navigates several hours of online learning every day. It's a challenge thousands of Arizonans are facing due to the COVID-19 crisis.
Since they have to go to work, they can't stay home.
But now a solution. The Valley of the Sun YMCA creating the Y Academy, an on-site virtual learning support program for students K through 8.
We've got the caring staff that are trained in not only health and safety, but also best practices in youth development.
Jenna Cooper, the executive director of youth development, says safety protocols are taken very seriously.
Take your temperature, you have to answer the COVID response questions, put some hand sanitizer on.
After that, while wearing masks, hand washing often, and social distancing, students can get help making sure they're able to log on to each Zoom meeting, clear their heads during scheduled breaks, and eat lunch at their individual allotted times.
Typically at the Y, the kids are running around making a ton of noise, so it's a little strange to have them come in just staring at their computer. But it is what it is, and I think everyone's trying to learn, and we're all rolling with it.
Executive Director Damian Vega says while it is a different environment, they're making the best of the situation.
A lot of the parents are, thanks for you guys, we're so glad you're here, we couldn't do this without you. That makes us feel good, and it makes it worth all the Wi-Fi connection issues or the teachers not Zooming at the right time. Having the parents be thankful is thanks enough for us.
Trisha Hendricks, 12 News.
Tricia, thanks. Turning now to Decision 2020. A slimmed-down Republican National Convention kicked off today in Charlotte, North Carolina. President Trump was formally nominated as GOP. Delegates participated in roll call this morning. Mr. Trump is breaking protocol and is set to speak every day of the convention.
You're going to see a great uplifting message from the president and from our allies. And Chuck, when I tell you some of these stories that you hear, there are going to be some breakout stars, some people that you would not expect to be supporters of the president, and it's going to tell a very beautiful story.
Trump has told his team he wants to be bigger and better than the Democratic National Convention last week. Well, throughout the week, President Trump's family will be the focal point of the convention, with Donald Trump Jr. speaking tonight. Primetime coverage of the convention starts at 7 o'clock. A major weather event is barreling toward the Gulf Coast right now. Not one, but two storms expected to hit the area within 48 hours of each other. Tropical storm Marco had been expected to hit the Louisiana coast as a Cat 1 hurricane, but has since weakened. It's expected to make landfall today. Then it's Laura's turn, expected to hit the U.S. as a Cat 2 hurricane Wednesday. The biggest concern, storm surges of up to 6 feet along the Louisiana and Mississippi coasts. Well, time now for a look ahead at some of the top stories that we'll be talking about today on First at 4. A warning from rescue crews as extreme heat in the valley creates dangerous hiking conditions. And the FDA gave the green light on emergency use authorization of convalescent plasma treatment for coronavirus patients. So how does it work and will it be effective? Top health experts answer those questions today on First at 4. And that's your 12 at 12, the facts on everything you need to know in just 12 minutes, no commercials. We're always on, anywhere, anytime on 12news.com, the 12 News app, and our socials as well.